Hey, Instagram. Waiting for the Facebook to jump up. Get some people on. Okay. Wait for a few people to log on. How y'all doing? We here. Episode number 3. Happy about all the comments we've been getting. So you know I'm going live on Instagram and I'm going on Facebook. So if you see my eyes moving, I'm just looking at Instagram, or I might turn to Facebook. So I got 2 cameras working. Again, welcome to the show. This is Corey Pegues. Once a Cop, author of the book, best-selling book, award-winning book, Once a Cop, The Street, the Law, 2 Worlds, 1 Man. Make sure y'all go on Amazon and order the book. Make sure y'all give me some feedback. Hit me up. You gotta send questions in for the show. Ask Corey Pegues at askcoreypegues@gmail.com. I appreciate everybody that's been sending me the questions. People have been sending me questions. I love it. Keep those questions coming. We got a lot of questions today, but we gotta have a cutoff. Y'all gotta cut it off at like Saturday night, midnight, because I'm like the owner, the CEO, the person writing the questions, getting everything together. And make sure y'all share these videos. This is invaluable information. Share the videos right now, live, right there on Instagram. Share the videos, repost. Everybody share. This is information that you talk around the kitchen table about police vehicle encounters. This is part of my 3-part series called Police Citizens Encounters. Last week we spoke about street stops. This week we're talking about vehicle stops, and then next week we'll be talking about when cops come to your home. So it's something that is very important, and we need to get that information out. We need to get that information out as much as we can. And I'm the only person that's really keeping it right, not real. There's no other analyst keeping it right, not real. Like me, I am, like I said on my hashtag, the voice for the people. I'm going to make sure that I give it to y'all rugged and raw like no one else. We're not going to sugarcoat it. If the cops are right, the cops are right. If they're wrong, they're wrong. And this series is not a cop bashing series. Let me just make it clear to you. This is not a cop bashing series. This is a series that's going to ensure that both you and the cop live to see another day in the encounter safely, so that you both can get home to your family. And again, we're talking about the 3-part series. Street encounters, vehicle encounters we're talking about this week. And next week we're going to be talking about home encounters, when cops visit your home. And the biggest question in every one of those encounters is what? What should I do? What should I do? Well, again, great questions. Let me just break it down for you, give you my opinion. And again, I'm giving you my opinion. It's tried and tested, file proof. If you listen to what I'm saying, I promise you'll live to see another day. The encounter will go smoothly, so that you can get home to your family. And the running theme to this series is live to see another day, survive the encounter. Live to see another day, survive the encounter. If you listen to everything I say, I promise you'll make it home safe. Now, if you're stopped in your car, the first thing I want you to do, the cops are behind you, they got their lights blaring, police don't move, police pull over. The very first thing I want you to do, as soon as you hear that, I want you to pull over safely. Pull over safely. Just don't make no knee-jerk reaction and, just go to the next lane and cause an accident. But as soon as you can, put your blinker on, go in a safe manner, pull a vehicle over. Do not exit the vehicle at any time. Please don't exit the vehicle. Cops get very, very nervous when you're exiting the vehicle. So let me just tell you, car stops are so dangerous for police officers, and that's why you see them kind of raised up sometimes. Sometimes they have their gun on their hand on the gun, but the gun is not out. Like sometimes, just to be very transparent and honest, when I was a cop and I would do a car stop, I would crack my holster so like my gun was at the ready and my hand would like hover over. And the reason is because a car stop is the most dangerous part of a police officer's job. Because all I want to do is pull you over for your tail light out, or you didn't engage a signal at the right time. But unbeknownst to me, you just shot somebody. You just robbed a bank. You just robbed a convenience store. I don't know that information. All I want to do is just get this summons, write this summons. So that's why it's so dangerous. That's why cops are so raised up on vehicle stops. It's very, very heart-wrenching part of the job because you don't know what you're walking into when you're stopping that person. So I want you to pull over in a safe manner. So let me give you me, Corey Pegues, 21-year veteran of the New York City Police Department, been a professor at a couple of colleges. I know the law code. This is what I do when I get pulled over. Cops pull me over, I pull safely to the side. If it's nighttime, I'm turning my dome light on. If it's nighttime. I'm gonna take my left hand, because I'm a righty, I'm usually driving with my right. My left hand, I'm putting it out of the vehicle so they can see my palms. Remember last week, palms, never knuckles. Cops want to see your palms. They want to see your palms. So I'm gonna put my left hand outside of the window. Pull over, roll the windows down, pull over. Left hand is out. If it's winter, spring, summer, or fall, I'm rolling those windows down. I don't care if it's 10 below zero. The windows are coming down so I can get my hand out there so that person, that cop that's coming to my vehicle, no, I don't have anything in this hand. In my right hand, what I'm gonna do with my right hand, I'm gonna put it on top of the steering wheel, but it's gonna be facing the window. So now when that cop walks up to my vehicle, they're going to see that in both of my hands, you can see my palms. That's going to do one thing for sure. He's gonna come down a little and be, very cautious and feel a little safe that, hey, this person doesn't have anything in their hands, anything at all. Now my passengers in my vehicle, what I'm telling you to do, again, this is what I'm telling you to do. You don't have to do it. You can do what you want to do. If it's passengers in my vehicle, the first thing I'm going to tell those passengers as I'm pulling over is keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. Let me engage this cop. Do not say anything. As a matter of fact, if I got a passenger on my right in the passenger seat, I'm going to tell him or her, keep your hands up. Put your hands on the dashboard. Just let them see that your hands are free and clear of any object. Free or clear of any object. If you're in the back, now, I'm going to ask them in the back, put your hands on the headrest. Put your hands on the headrest. And I'm doing all this, and I know some of you are probably saying, well, why we got to do this? Why we got to do all this? I'm just telling you how to survive this car stop. If you're doing these things that I'm telling you, the cop is going to be cool, calm, and collective. You're going to make him or her feel very, very safe during the stop. And it should go good. It should go smoothly. It should go smooth. Okay? Now, if possible, again, roll all your windows down. If you have a car, like an older car that has a key, it's up to you. You can do this or you don't have to. What I would do is shut my car off. I would put my key on the top of the dashboard, right on the top, right there. This is what I used to do when I got keyless cars now. But I would take my key, put it right on the dash. And what some people say, well, why would you put your key on the dashboard? Putting the key on the dashboard so that the cop knows that I'm not trying to go anywhere. The car's off. I'm not going anywhere. The key is there. You see my palms. You got the key there. My dome light is on. If it's nighttime, my passengers' hands are up. I don't want to piss these people off. I want them to feel so safe. Because if I came up to a car stop like that, I would feel so safe. And now I could just go through the motion and ask for license, registration, insurance, and don't be so raised up. Okay? Comply with the orders of the police officer. Again, here we go again. Comply, then complain. Comply, comply, comply. I'm only going to tell you the things I'm telling my sons, I'm telling my daughters, I'm telling my friends and my family. Please comply. If you comply with all of the orders of the cop, even if you think they're wrong, just comply. We could complain later, and especially now with cell phones, this is something that I got to add in my presentation. As soon as I'm getting pulled over, what I will probably do now is take my cell phone out, put it on video real quick, record, hit the button, and just sit it down. Just sit it down so I can record the situation, record the encounter. so that if it goes south, left, whatever you want to call it, if it goes bad, at least I have video evidence of what in fact happened prior to me getting arrested or pulled out of the car, beat up, or whatever happens on the scene. Utilize the tools that's right in front of you, okay? Please don't make any furtive movements. Furtive movements will get you killed. For instance, Philando Castillo. We all know about the Philando Castillo case in Minneapolis, right? A few years ago, I actually, was on the Oprah Winfrey Network, Ilana Van Zandt, speaking about that incident. Philando Castillo, perfect car stop. The cops pulled him over. His taillight was out. His taillight was clearly out, and you can Google the case. His taillight was clearly out. The cop walked up to the vehicle, informed him that his taillight was out, asking for his license registration. And again, not victimizing Mr. Castillo because he's dead, and he should not be dead. He reached for his license. He gave him his license, but as he was reaching for his insurance or whatever he was reaching for, he informed the cop that he was armed with a firearm, but he was reaching at the same time, and a cop ended up killing him. So what I'm saying is this: listen, was he right? Was he wrong? We're not getting into that. I'm just telling you things that's going to help you survive an encounter. He was in a carry state. If you have a gun on you, you're supposed to inform the cop that you are carrying a licensed firearm. That's what you're supposed to do, and that's what he did. But he was moving at the same time while telling him, and the cop was nervous and scared. He ended up killing him. Bad, real bad. But the car stop was good, textbook car stop, because the light was out. Now, please don't make no further moves. None. This is what I would advise you to do. If a cop asks me for my license and registration, if they ask you, I'm going to announce every move that I'm going to make, every single move. If they ask me for my license, I'm going to tell him, excuse me, my license is in my rear right pocket. I'm going to reach in my rear right pocket. Now, if you're in a state like New York City, they have 2 cops. The other piece of information I'm going to tell you is I'm not reaching for my license until he tells that person on the other side that I'm about to reach into my back pocket. Because the guy on the other side can't hear what's going on between you and the cop at your window. All he sees is you reaching in your right back pocket. But let's say you have, I carry my keys on the inside of my waist. I carry my keys on the inside of my waist. So at nighttime, if they have a flashlight and flashing it, they're going to see something silver on my waist, which they're probably going to mistakenly say that was a firearm and end up shooting me. But it's only a set of keys. So I'm not reaching for my license until I say, listen, I'm going to reach for my license. Can you tell your partner over there that I'm about to reach into my back pocket? And I'm not moving until he tells me, hey, he's getting ready to reach in his right back pocket. Because I want that cop on the other side to also know everything that's getting ready to go down. And then I reach, I give it to him. I'm not going in the glove box. If it's in the glove box, I'm going to say, officer, my license is in my glove box. I'm reaching into my glove box. Let him know that I'm reaching into my glove box. If it's right there, I forget what you call in the console right in the middle, I'm telling him. I'm announcing every single move. Now, if I'm armed with a firearm, for the off-duty cops, for the people that's in carry states, I'm announcing to the cop as soon as they pull me over, hey, I'm a retired police officer, I'm armed. I'm licensed to carry, I'm armed. I'm not reaching for anything. I'm not giving no license or anything. The next thing I'm going to tell the cop is, do you want me to exit the vehicle so you can disarm me and we can finish the car stop? I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not looking to give him my pistol license. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to ask him to let me exit the vehicle. And once I'm armed and he knows that I'm armed and there's another cop on the other side, he needs to let that person know. Because I'm trying to get home. Remember, the running theme is live to see another day. I'm trying to get home. I'm not going to play with these guys. I don't know what type of day they had. I don't know what kind of information they had based on my vehicle looking like another vehicle. So all I want to do is ensure that this encounter goes smooth, goes safe, and he can go home or back out on patrol, and I can go home. Same thing, okay? Announce every move, no furtive movements, please. If the police see contraband or weapons in plain view, they can search the vehicle. Okay, if they see contraband in plain view, they can search the vehicle. So if there's a gun on the floor, they're searching the vehicle. they're searching the vehicle if there's a gun on the floor. If there's cocaine, bags of cocaine on the floor, they're searching the vehicle. They're searching the vehicle to ensure that what in fact they see is the contraband. Okay? And now, if it's in plain view, everybody in that vehicle can be charged. If there's a gun on the floor, right? There's a gun on the floor, there's 4 people in the car, everybody's going to jail. Let's make no mistake about it. Everyone is going to jail. Everyone. All right? Unless there's a situation like there's a major rapper that you all know from Queensbridge. His name is Nas. When I was a cop in the 114 precinct in Astoria, where Queensbridge is, that's where he's from. He got pulled over on 21st Street many years ago in his Lexus, and he was with 3 other people, his brother and like 2 other people. And it was right around the time when Queen Latifah got shot up in Harlem. So rappers was carrying a gun. Tupac had just got shot. Queen Latifah's car got shot at. And when he got pulled over by the cops in the precinct, he informed the police officers when they pulled him over. He said, "Hey, I have a gun in my glove box. It's mine." So in this instance, he told the cop the gun was in the glove box. It was his, so he owned up to the gun, and the cops arrested him because it was a legal firearm, and everybody else got sent home. So that's the only way. But if that gun is on the floor and nobody admits that it's mine, they're taking everybody. And I'm pretty sure that most cops, even if somebody admits to it, they're probably going to lock everybody up to get 4 gun arrests as opposed to 1. So the moral of that whole scenario and story is don't carry illegal guns, because if somebody puts it on the floor, everybody goes. Another quick story, my nephew goes to college in Long Island, New York. He picks his friends up just recently. They're drinking beer in the car. He tells them, "Do not drink the beer in my car, please." They're coming from a party. The cops pull them over. One of them, what did they do? Drop the beer on the floor, open container. Ended up locking everybody up in the car for open container beer. 1 open container. Everybody went to jail. We couldn't find him for 3 days because he was scared to call his mother and then tell her that he was locked up in jail. All because someone in his car had a can of beer that they opened up, that he told them do not open up. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, for the young people and for the adults, to tell their kids, if you're driving, when your friends get in your car, you need to be asking them, do you have anything on you? Even so, like I tell my son, they be thinking I'm joking. I tell him, listen, before these friends get in your car, you should be frisking them, search them real quick. And he's with good kids, but some of y'all got, some bad friends they hang with. Search them, just pat them down real quick. Say, look, man, I want to make sure you don't got nothing when you get in my car. Whatever it is to live to see another day and survive the police encounter, whatever they have to do, but ask, at least at a minimum, ask the question, do you have anything on you? We're getting ready to go drive to the mall. I don't want to get pulled over and get in trouble. My parents would be very upset if something happens to me. Now, women, and this was a question earlier, but it's part of my presentation. Women, if you are driving and you're getting pulled over by the cops, and let's just say it's nighttime, you're in a desolate area, you're a little nervous, you don't know if you really want to pull over. So my suggestion, this isn't something that's written in stone, this is just an Ask Corey Piggy suggestion, what I'm telling you to do. This is what I would tell any woman in America to do. If you're getting pulled over and you're not feeling safe. Now, if it's a blue and white or black and white, if it's a marked car with police officers, they're marked, you should probably pull over. But if it's a situation where you have undercovers or unmarked vehicle pulling you over, you're a lady, you're a little nervous, what I suggest you to do, turn your hazard lights on, especially if it's nighttime. Daytime is a little different. You probably should pull over. It's bright daylight and it's an area where people can see you. But if it's at nighttime and you're a little nervous, put your hazard lights on, drop your speed limit to about 15, 20, and you coast until you get to a lit area, let's say like a gas station or something. Now, some people say, well, what's going to happen? The cops going to be screaming, if they're real cops. They're going to be screaming on the loudspeaker, pull the car over, stop the car, stop the car. But what I want you to do is grab your phone, call 911, say, hey, I'm being pulled over by an unmarked police car. I'm not sure if it's really cops in this vehicle. I'm by myself. This is my name. I'm nervous. It's the vehicle that I'm driving in, and I'm going to pull over at a safe location. So that's going to do something really big. You know what that's going to do? That 911 operator is going to put that dispatch, that call out. And if it's really the police are going to come over and say, hey, dispatcher, let the lady know that it is the real police. It's safe for her to pull over. If you don't get that, if you're not getting that back from her, then it could be a setup. And we know there's many instances where people, both men and women, you know, Michael Jordan's father was killed. You know, there was a lady over in my town in Nassau County that was killed on Peninsula Boulevard, you know, by somebody riding in an unmarked vehicle. So ladies, be very, very careful. And I will say again, put your hazard lights on, drop your speed limit down because you don't want to be speeding, and go to a safe lit area, preferably like a gas station or a convenience store where people can see you, okay? And always, 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 if you can, after the stop is done, just politely ask for name and precinct that they work in, or whatever county that they work in, because I know around the country there's different counties, you know, New York, LA, you know, Chicago, the big cities, Detroit, they have like precincts, but some of these other places have like 2 and 3 different police departments. You politely ask for the information. If you can't get the information, if they're rude, nasty, disrespectful, and don't want to give you the information, then as they pull off, take a picture of the car. We have videos now. You just take a picture of the car so that you know, in fact, who pulled you off. You might not know their name, but you will know the vehicle that pulled you over. And every police department in the country assigns people to vehicles, so they'll know the date and time, who that person was that pulled you over in the vehicle. Now, that's pretty much an overlay of how to deal with a police vehicle encounter. And if you do those tried and tested methods that I just told you, I promise you the encounter will go well. And of course, I'm always going to tell you, stay calm and in control of your words, your body language. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. Don't get into an argument with the police. You don't want to get pulled out of the car. You're never going to win. They're going to pull you out of the car. You're going to end up getting arrested for disorderly conduct. All we see all the time is on YouTube. We see the videos all the time. People getting pulled out of the car, beat up for absolutely no reason. I mean, Sandra Bland. Like, we have so many cases. Sandra Bland, should she have ever been in jail? No. The cop asked her to put a cigarette out. She didn't have to. She was in her car. She chose not to put the cigarette out, but she ended up going to jail, and 3 days later she ended up dying. And the cop was at the car with the citation saying, because, you know, he was an idiot. He just wanted her to put a cigarette out because he wanted to flex his muscles, or he should have just gave her the citation and kept on his way. But he was badgering her to put the cigarette out. She didn't want to and ended up dying. Wrong. So that again goes with the compliant and complain. I don't know how y'all feel about it. If it was me, I'm putting a cigarette out. I just give me the citation. I just want to get away from this crazy cop for writing me the citation, which she probably didn't even do anything wrong. Keep your hands where the police can see at all times. All right? Don't touch a police officer under any circumstances. Please don't put your hands on them. Because once you put your hands on them, now you're opening up yourself to an assault on a police charge, because once you put your hands on them, he or she's going to hit you, you're going to hit them back, you're going to get that assault on a police officer charge, which is a felony, probably class E. But you don't want that, so now you got the class E felony. And then you're going to get the disorderly conduct, then you're going to get the other charge or whatever they pulled you over for, and it just goes bad. I just want you guys, women and men, to have these encounters, be safe, and just get out of there. Just get out of there. And don't resist. So let's say, what if there's an incident where you're going to be arrested? I'm asking you not to resist arrest. Just comply. Turn around, put your hands behind your back, go to jail. They got to provide a lawyer for you if you can't provide one for yourself, and hopefully you'll be able to win based on him or her, the police officer, doing something bad, technicality. Okay? And if you're arrested, remember the drill. Name, address, date of birth. That's it. Name, address, date of birth. We're not giving up any other information. Name, address, date of birth. That's it. That's the only information we're going to give out. Name, address, and date of birth. If you can, remember the badge numbers, the officers' names, patrol car numbers. Take the picture. If you see the numbers on the side, like, again, the NYPD, there's big numbers on the side. Get the number. We're going to know who's in that vehicle at all times. We will know who's in that vehicle. And another thing you can do, if in fact you didn't like the stop or you got arrested, do your own evidence search by going back to the scene, knocking on a couple of doors, seeing if there's video footage from when you got arrested over in that area, because everybody got videos. Everybody got the bell on their house that spans out. It has a nice view, 45-degree angles on both sides, where you can see. Okay, my son just had an accident recently, and I got to the scene. The person in the house that was there was like, I got the whole thing on video. HD. He was excited because he had the video evidence of the accident. So everyone has video evidence. You can do your own search even before you go pay a lawyer $5,000 for a retainer. Get your own information, because if they have to hire investigator, it's going to cost you more money. You might have to pay $4,000 just for them to get a private eye to go get that video that you could already went back to the scene and got yourself. You could get that video from stores, from store owners. You could get it from homeowners, and you can actually see city-owned cameras too. You'll see city-owned cameras out there, like red light cameras, speed, everything. You'll see it all. It's there. Okay. And again, if this arrest leads to you being injured, I need you to take pictures. I need you to take pictures quick. I need you to do a synopsis, write in your notes section of your phone, and I need you to do what? Email it to yourself so you can have that record so when you decide to file a complaint. But that's pretty much the overview of a police vehicle stop that's going to ensure that you get home safe to your family and the officer get back to the precinct safely. That's the ultimate goal. It's just to live to see another day. I don't see anyone arrested, and I hope that these tips help you. And again, it tried and true. I used them myself. A former cop, a former executive in the biggest police department in the country. I still do that. And then when I identify myself, that who I am and what I used to do, they're like, well, why you didn't tell me you was a cop in the beginning? Because I'm not going to play games with y'all. Just let you do your job. I don't know why you pulled me over. I didn't know what kind of day you had. Am I free to leave now? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. That's it. Well, let's get through some of these questions. You guys left me a lot of questions. Questions. And you can type some of your questions up there. You can type them. And we can answer some of these questions. So let's go. If you only have the police car number from the front left fender, not the license, is there a way to identify the driver? Yes. Okay, this question came from Pennsylvania. Yes, if you just have the number of the vehicle, every police department in the country should know who's in that vehicle, what time that they went out on patrol, that vehicle was assigned to that person. They should know who the two people in that vehicle was. And you'll know who the driver is based on what they wrote inside of their memo book. Okay? Great question. Appreciate that. Remember, those questions got to go to askcoreypegues@gmail.com, and make sure y'all go to my YouTube channel and hit subscribe so you can see all my videos from this Police Citizens Encounter series and a bunch of videos of me giving expert advice or opinions on a whole litany of law enforcement issues, from Eric Garner to Sandra Bland, everything. A bunch of information, marijuana arrest, everything. So make sure y'all go to my YouTube channel, Ask Corey Pegues, and click the subscribe button. Please. Okay? Okay, so I had this conversation at work. We was watching the Jews get preference in Brooklyn with no mask, causing havoc. I want to know what you would instruct your subordinates to do if you were still in command. That's not a vehicle question, but I'll answer it really quick. So I saw the Hasidic sector in New York City out there having parties with no mask. If I was a commander, I would let them party. I wouldn't even involve my cops trying to engage somebody about a mask. I need my cops to drop down crime, not deal with masks. They gotta come with some other mask police, but I'm not using my police officer to ask somebody to put on a mask, which is only gonna lead to a confrontation. Okay. Aside from a DUI, whatever reasons can the police seize your vehicle? Great question. There's a whole bunch of reasons. They can seize it. It might be a stolen car. That's the obvious reason. It might be it might have been used in the commission of a crime previously. It might have been used, or because sometimes the plate might be off. They got the wrong plate, and it pops up as your plate. So now the cops running the plate, and it's coming up that it's used in the commission of a crime. They can seize it in accidents for evidence. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why, other than the DUI, they can seize your vehicle, and it takes a long time to get back. Sometimes, but sometimes if you got good cops, they release your vehicle fairly quickly. Are there any circumstances where they can seize your vehicle but not arrest you? Yes, I pretty much just said, like there's an accident, a questionable accident, you don't get arrested, but it caused the death of someone, they'll seize your vehicle. They'll seize your vehicle on the scene for evidence, okay? If so, can you literally leave? Can they leave you where this takes place even though you have no way home? The cops are not taxi cabs, they're not Ubers. They'll be nice to drop you, but most cops, they're just going to tell you to call somebody, or, public transportation. You're going to have to get yourself home. And I would be happy to take public transportation, or Uber, or a taxi cab, if they took my car and they're not taking me to jail. Mm-hmm. What happens to your minor child or infant if you're arrested after a traffic stop? Super dope question. Love it. Because sometimes we do arrest people, or police arrest people when they have kids in the car. So what they will do is have you call somebody of age to come. We have to verify that identification and get and give the child, like, to your mother, your father, or your niece, whoever you want to give your child to. We got to make sure it's going to be safe place that you refer to us, and a safe person, and someone very close, hopefully. Okay? Can you make a call? Yeah, I just said that. You'll call somebody to come and get your child. If you're being stopped and you're in possession of a recreational amount of marijuana or legal firearm, or both, how should you proceed? Well, if you got marijuana in your car and a legal firearm, you're supposed to let the cops know, listen, I'm armed, I'm carrying, I have a legal firearm, because you should have your license on you, your license to carry, so the cops want to see that. If you have legal marijuana or recreational marijuana, well, there's 13 states so far, and I think in about 3 weeks we're going to be talking about the legalization of marijuana, and I'm going to have a guest, my man Michael Stoney, who just opened up a dispensary down in Virginia, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach. So we'll be speaking about legalization of marijuana around the country. But if you have marijuana on you, I'm not telling you to admit to the cops that you have drugs on you. If it's not in plain sight, then why even admit it? You just, do the car stop. They're not stopping you over because you got a small amount of marijuana on you. They're stopping you for other reasons. Maybe a violation, your light is out, your car came up stolen, or something like that. If you're stopped for something traffic related, and you just so happen to be in the company of someone who is menacing you and threatens you with violence if you say anything, is there some type of code or action you could take to alert the cop? Or so if you're driving in a car, you get pulled over by the cops, they say you got a boyfriend in the car that's wanted for murder, he's like, you better not say nothing to the police. As the police come up to your car, there's no code, but maybe you can mouth to the police that, like, I need help, something to raise them up. You can do something like that. But there's no code, universal code, that you give cops to alert them that you need help. I would suggest, like, mouthing to the police officer or jumping out of the car. If it's that dangerous and your life is in jeopardy, then you might have to jump out of the vehicle and just tell a cop, listen, this person over here is about to hurt me or kill me, or I've been kidnapped, whatever the situation may be. You often speak about comply now, complain later as a way to live another day. What are the immediate steps you should take once your rights have been violated by brutality or an illegal stop? Again, immediately write the information down, what you think was brutality or it was an illegal stop. Email that stuff to yourself. Take pictures, all the stuff that we talked about. Those are the immediate steps before you call a lawyer or start complaining down to the police department and other entities that can help you. Also, you mentioned quite often you remind your sons to comply because we have money for lawyers. Most people don't. What are their choices? Many people don't know. It's great. Right. So everybody can't afford a lawyer. But one should be supplied for you if you was arrested. And if you don't, you can reach out to the Legal Aid Society. There's legal aid societies all over the country. You could go to your local legal aid society and get some pro bono help. I sent a question in last week asking for advice on what's your rights and what will happen when a man or woman is stopped with an infant or small child and they must be taken into custody. We pretty much just tackled that question. What if you have no one to call? Where will your child go? So if you don't have anywhere to call, then your child should be sent to a child protective services, wherever the municipality calls it, child protective services, somewhere that's licensed, and they will keep the child until you either get out of jail or they can place that child into like a foster care or something, until someone that you know can come and get the child, or you yourself get out of jail for whatever the reason you was in jail for. Does the police have to tell you why you're being stopped or pulled over before asking for a license or registration? No. So stop asking that question. Everyone wants to know. You gonna tell me why? No, they don't have to tell you why. Should they? Of course they should. But most of them not. They're nasty, and they're not gonna tell you. It used to baffle me, like, why wouldn't you tell? Like, so I would pull somebody over. When I went to somebody's car, I would go to their car and say, hello, I'm Officer Pegues, I work in the 114 precinct. You just went through the red light, that's why I'm stopping you. Can you produce your license and registration? Yes, because I was a nice guy. But some of these cops are not nice. They're not gonna be nice. So once you know, when they say, I'm not telling you, you already know that this stop is getting ready to go south. So what I would suggest is now you really start complying. Just start complying, because you got a prick on your hands. You have a prick on your hands. So just start complying, because they're not going to tell you why they pulled you over, and they might tell you at the end. Are you required to present your ID prior to know why? If the cops ask you for your license and registration, you should produce it. You should produce it, all right? Because there should be a valid reason on why they're stopping you. Now, if it's an illegal stop, remember we talked about last week about the fruits of the poisonous tree. If they illegally stopped you, and let's say they found a gun in your car, if the stop was bad in the beginning, the stop is bad at the end, and everything goes. So everything is thrown out. What can I do if I think I'm witnessing police abuse or brutality? Tape, film. Please film. Write in your notes section. Complain to your local politicians, the NAACP, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, and Legal Aid Society. All of those things. Local news station. All these different avenues to complain. Remember, if we don't complain, let's say you have a rogue officer out there. If nobody's complaining, he or she's gonna still be rogue. Nobody's complaining about him, so nobody's gonna know. No one is gonna know that person is rogue unless there's some complaints. If I'm stopped driving someone's car who is not present but has violations, warrants, or issues with plates, and my personal papers are in order, what else do I need to provide to the police in order to be let go? So if you're driving somebody's car that comes up like stolen, it's a bad car, has been involved in a shooting, a murder, so on and so forth, you're going to get what we call a felony stop. They're going to be coming up to you with their guns. Police, get out the car. Hands on your knees, get down, lay down. It's going to be a felony stop because they already got a message on the computer that this is a very violent felony car. So they're going to pull you out of the car. Now, if you're not the subject, right, of that, they will identify you. If you have legitimate ID, I'm pretty sure they'll bring you to the precinct because you was in that vehicle. They probably question you whose vehicle it is, how do you know the person, so on and so forth, okay? But ultimately, if you had nothing to do with that crime that the vehicle was suspected to be involved in, you should be let go. if I'm stopped and my passenger is carrying an illegal firearm and the latter is discovered that it was used in a violent crime that I had nothing to do with, what happens at the scene? Then what happens to me after they tie it to a crime? Pretty much the same thing. If you didn't have anything to do with the crime, it doesn't matter if they have a legal firearm. Remember, I told you, if they have a legal firearm, they throw it on the floor, and they don't admit that it's theirs, it's yours. Everybody's going. Everybody's going in that vehicle, even though you had nothing to do with it. And just hopefully you'll be able to articulate that with your lawyer to get you out of that arrest and get that case thrown out. But hopefully the person that had the illegal firearm that committed the crime and know they did it is a stand-up person, is going to say, hey, it was me, let my friend go. Not too many stand-up criminals are telling you that. They talk all of that stuff in hip-hop. They are. And not too many of them stand up. Seen them all in the back, crying, bitching in the morning. I'm in the car with a friend, and he runs down a pedestrian and keeps going. What's the best course of action for me? Great question. So if you're in a vehicle with someone that's driving and they hit somebody and kills them, what should you do? Well, as soon as that vehicle stops, you should probably be calling 911 to let them know, because you're almost like an accessory to a murder. All right? I don't know if I'll be doing it inside of the car because the person is going to be totally upset, but I'll be kicking, screaming, and yelling and screaming at this person. If they ever stop at a red light or a stop sign, we're trying to get out of that location, I'm a log roll. I'm going to tuck and roll and get out of that vehicle, because I don't want no parts of that. And I'm calling the cops to let them know I was a passenger in that vehicle. If it's your husband, if it's your wife, whoever it is, because you are now an accessory to this murder because you was inside that vehicle. So you better let them know immediately, as soon as you can, I was in that vehicle. I had nothing to do with it. I was a passenger. I wasn't driving. And remember, it's going to be video everywhere, so they'll know for sure that you was a passenger and you wasn't a driver. But they'll be looking for that driver and looking for you because it was more than one person in the vehicle, because they got to solve the case. So let's look and see if we got any questions on Facebook, any questions on Instagram. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure y'all go to Ask Corey Pegues on YouTube. Click, subscribe. I've been pulled over when there was an emergency and the officer was rude and aggressive. He made me feel like I could not speak. What's the best way to handle that as a woman who is alone? I think we spoke about that earlier. Listen, there's rude cops. There's a lot of rude cops, but there's a whole bunch of nice cops too. You can't really teach people respect. If people either going to respect you or they're not. Whenever I dealt with a cop that was rude, I just kill him with kindness and silence. I just kill him with kindness, silence, yes, no answers, keep it moving. All right, I don't even want to engage with them. I don't want them getting my blood pressure up. Just kill them with kindness. And you always, again, you can complain if, let's say like this person that wrote that question came from New York City. So, you can always make a CCRB, civilian complaint review board complaint for discourteous remarks, pretty much. It's an 18-month process. They have up to 18 months to investigate it. But if he was nasty to you or she was nasty to you, they'll be nasty to everybody else. So until we get these more complaints, the more the police department is notified that they have a nasty, disrespectful cop on patrol. Those 2 gun collars we did in the 2A precinct, that was good police work by us, Inspector. Hey, Danny, what up? Thanks, man. Yeah, see, some of these people don't think I did police work before. Yeah, he's talking about some gun arrests we made. Thanks. This video should be sent to community organizations, schools, churches, critically needed legalese. Please distribute. Yeah, make sure y'all share the video. What about when they say I smell marijuana? They use that to search the car. Smelling marijuana doesn't give you the probable cause to search the vehicle. Like, cops are not trained to smell marijuana. So even if they know what marijuana smells like, they're not like, I don't know any cops that went to training and they say, they burn marijuana and say this is what it is. But again, there's 13 states. Marijuana is going to the way of legalization around the country. Again, there's 13 states already legalized. I think New York City is going to be legalized probably, New York State probably in the next year and a half. Okay, but they'll probably ask questions, and again, it could be a search just like with their eyes, just looking down to see if they see something on the floor, and pretty much that's it. They're not going to be searching you, pulling you out of the car, searching your pockets. Okay. What about when they say, my youth get this all the time? Okay, if they tell them they smell marijuana, you just tell them, the youth, you can tell the cops, I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been smoking. Like, just deny. I haven't been smoking, so I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're smelling marijuana because I haven't been smoking. And I'm not giving you permission to search my vehicle. You got to remember that. If it's illegal search, you got to make sure you tell them, I'm not giving you any permission to search my vehicle. I'm not giving you any permission to search my vehicle. Because again, if the vehicle stop is wrong and they ended up arresting you, everything is bad. The case should be thrown out. Okay. Are the police required to have their body cams on upon stopping you? Yeah. Police officers should have their body cam on. It should be fully, now it's different states, different police department, municipalities, different rules. Some police officers have them on constantly. Some of them are allowed to turn them off when they're not engaged. So it depends on the municipality, but every one of them are supposed to engage it when they're getting ready to do police work. So as soon as they're getting ready to do police work, press the button and it's engaged, and now it's recording. What are your thoughts and views around defunding the police departments? Okay, this is great. And that's one of the questions I forgot to ask that. What does defund police mean for Black and brown communities, and can it be effective in addressing police brutality? So my thoughts, even though it's not about the police vehicle stops, my thoughts on defunding the police is, I think there's enough meat on the bone for police officers, police departments to be defunded, not disbanded. And I'm talking about reallocating the funds from, let's say, the war on drugs. We've been doing this since the Reagan era. We've been doing the war on drugs. So we can't keep doing the war on drugs. It's not helping. The only way to deal with the drug addiction is education and counseling. We got to get police out of that. So I think we can take all that money that we're using on the war on drugs, put it in education and counseling to help drug addicts get off. Another issue, I think, where we got meat on the bones, where you could reallocate or restructure police departments, is dealing with emotionally disturbed persons. So if you look in Oregon, they have this unit called a CAHOOTS unit. I forget what the acronym stands for, but when there's a call for an emotionally disturbed person, the first call goes to clinical physicians that go to the scene to try to deal with that emotionally disturbed person. It's not to the police. And if they can't deal with it, then they go to the police department. They call the police and say, hey, we have a violent, emotionally disturbed person. Now we need you to come and render some help. And there's like demilitarization of police departments. I don't think we need tanks. When you look at Ferguson, you had tanks, cops hanging off tanks with MP5s. Like, we don't need that in an urban environment. It looks like it was Iraq. We don't need that. We need that in war. So there's a whole bunch of ways where you can restructure. I don't like the word defund, because people are taking that to mean abolish policing. And I'm saying we could reallocate fundings, different things that police officers are doing, and put them in other spaces that can help bridge that gap between the community and police. Again, the war on drugs, bringing down crime. You can use those funds for different things to help that community and that police department become one. Because again, the word is community policing, where the community and the police should be able to work together. Okay. Let's see on Instagram. We got any questions on Instagram? Does the footage that the camera sent automatically to the precinct teams, does it need to be uploaded? Hold on one second. I gotta pull my camera from Instagram closer so I can read the question. Thank y'all for sending these questions. Really appreciate this question. We're getting some good information out there to the people. Let's see. What's this question on Instagram? Does the footage from the body cam get sent automatically to the precinct, or does it need to be uploaded? Yeah. So the footage that comes from the body cameras in most police departments is automatic. There's a repository for the information, and they look at it like in the morning. They'll review the video cameras, or maybe like, during that week, they'll review all of the information that was sent in. And this is from, in a vehicle stop, can officers ask a passenger for ID? That's a great question. In a vehicle stop, can they ask the passengers for ID? No. They should not be asking the passengers for ID because the passengers are not in control of the vehicle. They're not driving the vehicle. So the only person that should be engaged, or the cop should be engaging with, is the driver of the vehicle. That's the only person. Again, remember, my passengers in my vehicle, when I'm stopped, I'm telling them, keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. Let me handle it. Do not say anything. They should not be asking for license, registration, ID, unless they are a subject of an investigation. Let's say they pulled the vehicle over because the passenger is somebody they know that's wanted for a crime. Now you engage in that person, but they're not asking passengers for ID because the tail light is out, or they went through a stop sign, or they went through a red light. No. Emphatically, they should not be asked. So what happens if they ask you as a passenger for your ID? What should you do? If I'm a passenger and they ask me for my ID, I'm not producing my ID. I'm not in control of the vehicle. I'm not giving you my ID. I didn't do. Why do you want my ID? Again, this is going to be a personal decision that you got to make. I'm going to take the chance and say, hey, I'm not producing my ID. I didn't do anything. I'm not in control of the vehicle. I'm just a passenger. I didn't do anything. Am I wanted for a crime? Why are you asking me for my ID? So again, remember I told y'all in part 1 of this series, some language when you use with cops, a light bulb is going to go off on their head and they say, hey, this person, this man or woman, sound like they know what they're talking about. Let me stop barking up that tree. Okay, anything else on Instagram? Do you think there will be a black Commissioner NYPD after de Blasio leaves office? Listen, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't care if it's a green police commissioner in the NYPD, as long as they treat the black and brown community fairly, like they treat everybody else. It doesn't matter. I'm so off this color because I know some black cops and some black police chiefs, commanders that I don't even want coming to my house because they're nasty and disrespectful. So for me, I'm locked into making sure that they respect the communities in which they serve. So that's it. Would it be nice to have a black commissioner? Yeah, well, let's look at Rochester, New York. They had a black police chief. They just killed a man in March before George Floyd. They killed that man. Black police chief didn't say anything till a month ago. Black. George Floyd in Minneapolis, black police chief, he allowed the guy that killed George Floyd, Chauvin, to be the training officer that day. He was involved in 3 shootings, and one of the shooters, he killed somebody with 18 years, and he had about 20 complaints. Black police chief. So, let's get off this black-white thing and make sure that whoever is in charge, I don't care what color they are, we have to demand that they respect our communities. So I'm so off the color thing because I know some white police chiefs and some white commissioners that I know around the country. I definitely want them to be the chief of the NYPD. Okay. Or commissioner. If a police officer will let you if a police officer tell you to put away your camera, do you have to stop recording? Absolutely not. If a police officer tell you, if you're at a safe distance, let's make sure you're at a safe distance. You can record. You're at a safe distance. You're not interfering in the police operation. You can record. Okay? Okay. This. I'm excited about this Ask Corey Pegues online show, giving you a bunch of good information that we can share. Remember, you got to share these videos. You got to share them with family, friends. I need you to repost these videos as much as you can. I need you to go to my YouTube channel, Ask Corey Pegues, hit the subscribe button. And I'm happy to announce that I have 100 subscribers since last week, since we launched the channel. We just went over 100 subscribers, but I need to get to 1,000. So I need you all to tell everybody. As soon as you see somebody, you grab their phone and you have them hit the subscribe. Please, please, please. You need, Sean, you need some of this gear, this Corey Pegues Enterprise gear. You just go to, you know how to hit me up. Y'all just send me a DM. You can get these hats. You can get these golf shirts. Okay, but thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. All right, and remember, live to see another day. Comply, then complain. Make sure you go to my YouTube channel, hit subscribe. And you know I'm the voice for the people. And I always keep it right, not real. Thanks a lot for having me. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Peace. Okay, Instagram, I'm out of here. If you enter this article, you'll be able to choose if you want to say what to do. Okay.